all, I guess you could tell by the thumbnail. We're here doing an album ranking. Now this is, it's funny because I started listening to them more again. I made a mixed CD in my car, and just digging it, man. Just really digging it. Let me see how many albums I got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 albums. Now, as we do this ranking, obviously it's Van Halen. Interesting career the band has, and unfortunately Eddie Van Halen passed away, I think it was 2019 or 2020. I'm not sure which, it was in August. It was like 3 or 4 years ago. But anyway, I only saw the band once, so we'll get to all of that. But let's start off with the album ranking. So, we'll get a little. They're from Pasadena, California. Just a California band. I think they started playing live around 72 with the initial lineup of Michael Anthony, David Lee Roth, Edward Van Halen, and his brother Alex Van Halen. I think their first shows were like in 1972, and they toiled away. Even their first album that came out in 78, they were the house band at this very famous rock club in California called, I think it was called Gazzari's. Yeah, see, it was kind of, it's like one of them clubs like the Whiskey or the Rainbow, or, where the bands took residence there, and they were just like the house band. I think they were finally broke by, Gene Simmons was very instrumental in bringing them to the forefront. I think they were, was it Atlantic Records? Warner Brothers Records. But anyway, so let's get down to the band. Obviously, they've had a few singers and a few other players, but predominantly the band was, like I stated, for a while. Then they got a new singer, Sammy Hagar, which came in. He came in mid-'80s, right after one of their giant albums. And then they got a third singer, David Sharon. At the time, he was the former or current, or maybe he was doing both, lead singer of the band Extreme. So that album was called Van Halen 3. That's the album I don't actually even have. So that's going down at number 12. And yeah, so that came out in 1998. It did go gold. There was nothing that really struck a chord with anybody. Because you gotta figure, 98, that was like the new metal craze around that time. Van Halen just really wasn't a thing. So we'll get to number 11 right now. Number 11, Diver Down. Now, this album came out in, came out April of 1982, and it did go 4 times platinum. Thing is, it's a weird album. This is the one time I saw them on tour at Madison Square Garden in October of 82. Yes, October of 82. And they played like 6 songs from this. 6 different songs. Now, there's a couple of little intros on here. There's a lot of cover versions. It does have little guitars on here, which is a great song. That's a great song. The intro and the song. The full bug is pretty good. Hang 'em High is not bad. And then the rest is covers. I didn't even think they really wanted to do this record. They were just kind of forced into the studio, and they did it. And they had the song Dancing in the Streets, Pretty Woman, which were pretty substantial hits for them at the time. Like Dancing in the Streets, it's a cover version. Eddie Van Halen didn't even want to use that keyboard thing. And it's a really interesting keyboard synthesizer effect that's in that song. He wanted that for some original song he was working on. But, powers that be at Warner Brothers said, oh, no, put the album out. So anyway, this is number 11, Diver Down. And then we have a number 10, OU 812. This album came out. When did this come out? This came out in 1988. 4 times platinum. Finish What You Started. That's a great song. This is with Sammy Hagar. Roth had left to go on to his own wacky endeavors, and in came Sammy Hagar, famous from Montrose, and his own Can't Drive 55. But he was a good fit. So, not a bad album. This is just where it falls on my When It's Love. That's a really good song. It's just a classic pop 80s song. Finish What You Started is really good. Feel So Good, Mine All Mine. Not a bad album, but it has to fall in somewhere on the ranking, and for me, it's number 10. Then we have number 9, and this is Balance. This would be the last album with Sammy Hagar. And when did this come out? Let me see. 1995 this came out. Did go 3 times platinum. This is a heavier album. It's a heavier album than the past 3 that they made with Hagar. Nonetheless, Can't Stop Loving You, I think, was the big single on here. The Seventh Seal, that's that's the opening track. That's a really good song. What is it? What Love Can Do? Aftershock. Like I said, heavier album. I think it did, what did it do? 3 times platinum. 3 times platinum in the mid-80s. Mid-90s, I mean. During the height of grunge, they still managed to pull out a triple platinum album that actually went to number 1. That's great. It's great. But anyway, but there it is. That's number 9. Balance. And then we have number 8. This would be their final album, A Different Kind of Truth. This is when they reunited with David Lee Roth, but Michael Anthony had left because I don't know, he went to go hang out with Sammy Hagar, and I don't know, I think they were in a band, Chicken Foot, or something like that. Chicken Feet, I don't know. But anyway, they were just hanging down in Cabo Wabo, doing tequila shots, drinking Sammy's own tequila, which I think is Cabo Wabo. Anyway, they just seem like they're enjoying their life. But this is the last album they did with David Lee, and then fine way to go out. It went gold. It went top 10. It's got some really solid songs on here. Tattoo, they toured behind this. She's a Woman. That's a really great rocker. Big River. Blood and Fire, heavy album. Great way for them to end their thing. Unfortunately, I don't say they ended. But when did this come out? This was a while ago. 2012. So this came out almost 14 years ago. That's the last album they put out. The last show they did was, I think, October of 2015. That was the last show they ever did. And then, of course, Eddie Van Halen passed away. Okay, so now we have number 7. This one, it's got, I don't know, it's weird. It always struck me as weird. It's like emblazoned, the Van Halen symbol emblazoned on a basketball or something. I don't know. So this is For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. F-U-C-K. Ooh. Anyway, this came out 1991, triple platinum album again. Pound Cake, great song. Run Around, another great song. Right Now, that's a fabulous song. These are all songs that are very varied in the Van Halen canon. So that's number 7, and now we're going, now we got number 6. Number 6 is this one, The Women and Children First. Cradle of Rock. What can I say? This came out in 1980. 3 times platinum. Top 10 album. Went to number 6. Released in March of 1980. This is the album that got me into Van Halen. My friend's brother, my friend Bobby, his brother Dennis, had this record. And I was like, oh, I'd never heard anything like In the Cradle of Rock. That's crazy. So that choo 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 choo. fantastic beginning. It was just crazy. I always loved it. Romeo's Delight, Everybody Wants Some. Yeah, just everybody wants some. Want some too. It's number 6. Number 5 would be the first album that had Sammy Hagar. 5150. This is a good album. Why Can't This Be Love? Huge song. This thing sold 6 million records. Big hit. Probably around the world, diamond, I don't know. But that's just in the U.S. Why Can't This Be Love? Best of Both Worlds, Dreams. Dreams, you know Dreams? That was originally supposed to be like the lead single, the lead track for Top Gun. Something happened, didn't happen. Was it on the soundtrack? I'm not even sure, but I forget. But that was supposed to be like a big part of Top Gun, like the lead single for it. And Love Walks In, Summer Nights. It's a song 5150. That's a great riffing song. But anyway, it's a fantastic debut with Sammy Hagar. A lot of people were like, oh, they're a pop band. Me included, because I was listening to a lot of heavier stuff and alternative stuff. But now that I go back and listen to this album's fantastic. It's got that 80s sound to it. It just sounds big. It sounds happy. It's party music. It just thinks of the 80s. Okay, so now we got number 4, Van Halen 2. This came out, I believe, in 79. Yes, 79. 5 times platinum. Of course, you got Dance the Night Away. What else is on here? Is it listed? You're No Good, which was a cover version. Somebody Get Me a Doctor. Out of Love Again. That's got an infectious groove on it. That groove on there is wild. Women in Love. Light Up the Sky. Dance the Night Away was the lead-off single. It's just such an iconic song. So that would be number 4 for me. Number 3 would be this gem, 1984, which actually came out in 83. I'm almost positive it did. It says January 1984. I could have sworn maybe they were playing tracks from it prior to that. That's probably what happened. They started playing songs from it in 83. But this is part of your youth. If you were a young teenager or anybody in the 80s, this record, what? This record is fantastic. This is 1984. The opener is like a synthesizer, goes right into Jump, which I wish they would always play that together because it's really cool. Then you got Panama, Top Jimmy, Drop Dead Legs, Hot for Teacher, I'll Wait, Girl Gone Bad. Whoa. House of Pain. Girl Gone Bad is like my favorite song on here, actually. But how could you... Jump is such an iconic song. This is a diamond. This went diamond. That means 10 million just in the U.S. alone. So that's number 3. Number 2, their eponymous debut, which is Van Halen. What more could you say? Eruption. This thing came out of left field and blew everyone away. Another diamond album. Another diamond. Jamie's Crying. You Really Got Me. That was great. Ain't Talking About Love. Little Dreamer. I really like that song. Just Running with the Devil. Come on. Great. But that's number 2. And of course, number 1 for me is this gem. This one. Fair Warning. Mean Streets, Dirty Movies, Sinner's Swing, Hear About It. Like Unchained. Unchained was just such a massive song. Unchained had that they was kind of reminiscent of In the Cradle of Rock. Push Comes to Shove, So This Is Love, Sunday Afternoon in the Park. This was a heavy album. It was. I remember we were in a park and my friend at the time, Eddie Rodriguez, I said, Eddie, what do you think of that new Van Halen? It's smoking, baby. It's smoking. I always remember that line. He was like, that shit's smoking. And was he right? You were right, Eddie, wherever you are. This album was smoking. So there you go. So there's my list of albums. Number 1, Fair Warning. Number 2, Van Halen. Number 3, 1984. Number 5, Van Halen. 2. Is it? 1, 2, 3. Oh, number 4, Van Halen 2. Number 5, 5150. Number 6, Women and Children First. Number 7, For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. Number 8, Best of Different Kind of Truth. Number 9, Balance. Number 10, OU812. And number 11, Diver Down. And then, of course, Van Halen 3 at number 12, which I don't have. And then, of course, you got like their best of, which actually came with some new tracks from Hagar and Roth. But there you go. There's my list. I hope you enjoyed. How 16 minutes? Ooh. Try to wrap these up quick because I know the attention spans are just hanging out there. But anyway, there you go. Hope you enjoyed my little stories and anecdotes. Like I said, Van Halen was one of them bands that was just always on our turntables. Van Halen, The Police, U2, Dire Straits, Pink Floyd. Those are the big ones. Those were always on our house party turntables. But anyway, everybody have a wonderful day. Peace.